everyone, my name is Katie Beans, and I'm an environmental health scientist with the University of Kentucky. I want to thank you for allowing me to speak with you today at NPR about a substance that I believe you should be aware of called di-2-ethyl-hexyl or DEHP for short. This is possibly one of the most ubiquitous contaminants in our modern environment, and it may play a damaging role in our health. It's not a new product. DEHP was introduced in the 1920s, and it was created to improve the flexibility of synthetic materials, also known as plastics, for various applications such as surfaces, household products, building materials such as PVC, vinyl, cosmetics, and even medical equipment. It's colorless, nearly odorless in liquid form. In everyday life, we are primarily exposed through air, ingestion, and skin contact. While air and skin contact are less concerning overall, drinking water can be highly contaminated, especially if the source is well water located near a DEHP producing factory or a waste site. Additionally, there is concern about highly packaged and processed diets, and research does show that reduction in these chemicals when processed diets are reduced. In short, this area remains a hot topic for exposure concern. Another route that unfortunately does come with a high level exposure is medical equipment. Many medical interventions require flexible plastic tubing in order to deliver care to patients, such as oxygen, IV fluids, medications, dialysis, and blood. And these exposures are thought to be a lot higher than any other everyday environmental exposure, and they result in high chemical delivery directly into the bloodstream or lungs or other areas of some of our most vulnerable patients, especially elderly, critically ill, and premature babies in the NICU. But I'm here today mostly to discuss why we should care about the chemicals. Once DEHP has entered the body, it's converted to intermediates that are largely excreted through the GI system, and as it's widely taken up into the bloodstream. However, when exposure to DEHP is intravascular through medical systems, the breakdown is much slower, and it can lead to deposition in other organs, such as the liver, kidneys, and reproductive tissues or fat. Research involving animals has helped us to understand the effects on the body, although we know it's not a perfect mirror. And while low and short-term exposures are not shown to be harmful, high-level oral exposure in rats did result in endocrine system disruption, specifically in sperm production and in pubertal changes in males. So in summary, phthalates such as DEHP are likely what we call endocrine system disruptors that act through lowering the production of the hormone testosterone. When considering women's health, in a human study, women with long-term occupational exposure had increased rates of miscarriage and infertility. And then secondly, pregnant animals that were exposed to high levels of the intermediates showed concern for birth defects of the brain, bones, liver, kidneys, and testicles of newborns, and even fetal death. And this suggests that there's transplacental exposure to a fetus, and that's a concern in animals that likely translates into humans. Last, we've shown that infants are exposed through breast milk studies, but it was a lesser amount than that of formula, and the consequence of that is largely unknown. There's been no links between DEHP and its metabolites in cancers. However, long-term oral exposure in mice was associated with some overgrowth in the liver of non-cancerous tumors. And in response to what we currently know, the Department of Health and Human Services has classified DEHP as a possible human carcinogen, suggesting that further study will show that it's likely carcinogenic. If all of this sounds concerning to you, then you're not alone. The EPA, OSHA, and the FDA are working towards regulating and limiting the amount of the substance in our society, such as limiting food packaging materials that contain it, the amount detected in drinking water and in natural waterways and workplace air levels. Additionally, some states are passing legislation banning the selling and manufacturing of any toy or children's product that will have more than strict levels of phthalates. And as environmental health advocates, it's our job to deliver accurate information to the public and contribute to public health policy initiatives that protect everyone. So in conclusion, it would be nearly impossible to attempt to completely eliminate all exposure in your modern society. However, you can likely reduce your exposure following 3 guidelines. Number 1, eliminate packaged foods from your diet as much as possible. Number 2, interrogate the source of your local drinking water and surrounding waste or industrial sites. And number 3, reduce your use of body care products, cosmetics, and household plastics. Although short, small exposure has no true human risk that's known, our knowledge of the harmful effects of these substances is evolving. And with that, so should our ability to produce alternative, safer products and promote policies that educate and inform the public of any risk Thank you so much for your attention. I'm really happy to be here with you today.